I would like to go over grants meditation. How about we sit quietly? I'm gonna guide you through this whole journey, Tamrim entire path, just briefly. That's very helpful, I think. This is not something to read books from beginning to the end, try to memorize all the point. So that's difficult. But if we think each of us individual as a practitioner, like a traveler treading this journey, road which our previous masters tread, exactly same road, then stop by all different cities and different rooms, houses. We don't need to go detail today, but just to have an entire idea. This is called grants meditation. So I thought it's cool. It's neat to do that. Just take a moment. First, I want you to imagine you are awakened. You attained enlightenment. Enlightenment defined by all your negativities are purified, washed away, and all good qualities manifested, unveiled. All the potentials, human potentials, are actualized. Just imagine you are that. Then from the sky of Dharmakaya, Buddha mind, body, you look down, you can see this whole globe, perhaps. And inside the globe, you can see the road, kind of winding road, the path you tread. Then you're a bit curious about how did I come here? How did I become a Buddha? Then you come back to this starting line, and you can see this winding road. But at the starting line, there are two cities. You know the road, there's a kind of road sign. First city, whatever mileage, and second city, whatever mileage, they send, right? So there are two. So Ramrim teaching are divided by two big sections. First one is about, it said, how to take a Lama, how to attend, or how to engage with a teacher. That's the first city. Little smaller than the second city. But that's the first one you need to pass. Then the second city, you can see the name too. Second city is called how to train your mind. Once you have taken yourself to a Lama or you attend Lama, teacher, first you decide to rely on the teacher and their teachings. So those are two big divisions of the entire teaching. Now you start walking into the first city, how I rely upon a Dhamma teacher, which is the source of the path. So any kind of things, any journey, we need a guide, no? Or anything you learn, music, you need a teacher. So go into that city, teacher city, Guru Yoga city. In that city, there are two big buildings. One is called faith, then second building is reverence or the respect. There are two things you need to realize, two realizations you need to have in this city. One is the faith, and the second one is reverence. We'll more go into the definition of what this each realization, each term means. Today we're going to go quickly. Rely on Lama in thought, then rely on Lama in actions, thought and also actions. Then we're going to move on to the next city. Then we're going to go quite quickly. But next one is how to train this, what to do with it now. Once you have taken the Lama, what to do with it. You start walking to the second city. On the way, there's the name of the road. That is called urgent advice, that we should try to get the very essence of this life. Urgent advice that we should try to get the very essence out of this life. That's the name of the road. while you're walking this road, two things you need to contemplate. Contemplating how important our opportunities and resources are. Sometimes translated as a spiritual opportunity and endowment, so-called precious human life. And the second contemplation is contemplating how hard, how difficult it is to find these opportunities and resources. This is a contemplation of a precious human life, encouraged by meditating on this precious human life. Then we reach the second big rest of the city, second big city that has three big divisions or three districts, you can say. But in order to go to the second district, you have to go to the first district and the second district and the third district. The first one is called a small scope, small capacities. Then second district is called medium scope or medium capacity. And the third district is called a great scope or great capacities. The rest of our journey, the spending these three districts. These are about the method of getting the essence out of our spiritual opportunities and resources which we contemplated while we are walking from the first city to second city. Then now we arrive the first district, small scope, initial scope, you can say. Four things we need to come to realize. For realization, we need to have here in this district. First one is impermanence or changing nature of everything, phenomena. Everything is finite. Then second realization is suffering. Suffering Lams traditionally talks about, but you can look at your own mental suffering, hellish like experience you had, or animal like just moving instinctively without any thinking intelligence, and so forth. Your mind started to get a little bit of sober. Then third one comes a refuge. In order to have a genuine refuge, according to Ramlim, we have to have this sense of fear. In a sense, this is a healthy fear, and also trust in the quality, capacity for refuge to help us contemplating on the Buddha's qualities and so forth. Then fourth realization, intelligent belief in karma, not blind belief in karma, intelligent belief in karma, karmic cause and effect. That's what first Buddha taught. So first, once you go for refuge, then we follow or we examine what the Buddha taught. Then this fourth realization is about karma. This is a small scope, first district. Even we are not talking about the liberation yet. This is just initial. But we need to go through this. Then second district we're moving in at the medium scope. The goal of medium scope is liberation. Learning to develop the aspiration for freedom. That is renunciation and aspire for liberation from samsara altogether. We no longer concerned about this life or next life. We go for freedom. That's the second district of the second city. Then to contemplation, we need to do that, main contemplation, contemplating upon the pain of the cyclic existence. We have to have this kind of fed upness or disgust or weary of moving around the deck chair on the Titanic. We have been doing that. If we do genuine contemplation and come to understanding so far, at this point, we come to this. What's the point? I want freedom, freedom from suffering, aspire for freedom. Then that's still kind of aspiration level. Then in the second scope, next half is how to do it. Establish just what the path for traveling for freedom is like. So how to do it. Three kind of training we need to do here. Higher training of morality, ethics, for example, avoiding the 10 non-virtuous action or unconstructive action, and cultivating the 10 constructive actions. So that's the first training we need to go through. Then higher training of concentration. That's the second one. Higher training of meditation. We do shamatha practice here. We have to put in this kind of context. Shamatha itself is nothing to do with Buddhist practice. Actually, lots of expert in non-Buddhist practitioners, even Buddha's time, they attained all the dhyana state and so forth. But if we can tread this path in this way, so now here we need concentration, cultivation of attention in this context. That's why it's called higher training. Then can you guess third one? What do we need for liberation? Higher training of wisdom. Wisdom of emptiness. That allowed us to get out or to cut the root of the samsara or chain of the habitual patterns which force us to stay in this samsaric reoccurring suffering. So that's the medium scope. Just imagine, you kind of going through this training. Then now come to the final district quite quickly. It's a great scope, the great capacity to embrace all sentient beings. Medium scope is just still thinking about oneself, one's own freedom. Now we come to this developing the wish for enlightenment, bodhicitta. I was talking about how to cultivate bodhicitta in the previous session. There are two styles or two ways: equalizing and exchanging self for others, and 7 steps of cause and effect. Equality, start with equal. Equality is recognizing all our mothers, mother-like, and remembering their kindness, and then wish for repaying mother's kindness. Naturally occurs. If we go really step by step, naturally occurs. Even you may feel like I didn't have a good relationship with my mom or something like that. Also in the West, I heard, but you have this body. From tantric point of view, parents are amazing, regardless of their behavior. They gave you this body and mind, which allowed you to wake up this lifetime with this body, so-called Vajra body we have. They gave you. So step by step we cultivate. So first, remembering their kindness, natural wish to repay their kindness, then developing compassion and love, and taking responsibility, and then finally realizing bodhicitta. Then taking the bodhisattva vow as well, taking the bodhisattva vow and keeping them. Those are practice, bodhisattva practice. We take bodhisattva vow to practice, right? As you know, I don't need to say, but also empowerment. We take empowerment to receive vows so that we can practice. So whatever we do become toward the enlightenment. Anyway, so importance of vows, we will more explore. But for example, generosity, like generosity, we are very generous in general, or somebody who have a vow, and then this is a bodhisattva vow, and to give something to somebody with this vow, or somebody who doesn't have a vow and give some different. It doesn't go to the enlightenment, positive potential storage, keeping vow. That's the source of the realization. Now, how to train, taking the bodhisattva vow. Now, how to train yourself in the action of the bodhisattvas. Once you have attained the wish, bodhicitta, receive bodhisattva vow. Then sixth perfection comes in here. Giving, ethics or moralities, patient, joyful effort, sometimes translated, or perseverance, concentration or meditation, and wisdom of emptiness. Then, especially in the Lamrim context, last two really focus on meditation and wisdom, like two wings of the bodhisattvas. It's very important. So now we quickly came toward the end of this journey. See if we can just rest. Imagine you come to the first glimpse into emptiness. Shantideva said in his book, Bodhicharya Vatara, the beginning of the wisdom section, he said, whatever I wrote so far is for this wisdom, realizing the wisdom of emptiness. Cannot overemphasize the importance of wisdom. But then, for wisdom to dawn, we need to tread these journeys and path. So now, with the end of a journey, we rejoice. And if you like, you can go up to the sky again. And now just let go of everything and empty our three spheres again. The travelers, you, agent, and the path itself, and also whatever all this realization or you reviewed. Everything, they do not exist from their own side. Emptiness of emptiness. It's like an illusion, a rainbow. Appear yet do not have any substance, inherent existence. Just rest in the truth of that. Yeah, my idea is this feeling and experience, your direct experience. I want you to have some kind of sense of this. Each point, each city, each district. I want you to get some taste. Okay. Anything? There are lots to talk about. As I said, this subject has been very dear to me, and go deeper and deeper. I hope you also appreciate this kind of teaching again and again. Not something get it done, more like a chewing, more chew on, get the taste more and taste, and also integrate. Whatever you do, exactly. Generosity, who you are practicing generosity, then put in that context, then become very powerful. What do you think? What's your take on this kind of practice or teaching? Since this grants meditation, you will get used to it. Sometimes traditionally we do the reverse order, forward order and the reverse order. So in order to come to the realization of emptiness, what we need? Then concentration, perfection of concentration, and so forth, reverse order, then forward order. We do like this. Yeah, just familiarity is good, then the reminder. So this way, using this more visualization is, I found it's quite beneficial than just reading. More visualize, you are kind of treading this journeys and going to this city, that city, and how many realization or how many things need to be pay attention and so forth.
Well, first I will say that I also do like the visualization part of it because it really personalizes it. It's very different from just talking about it. You're actually experiencing it and getting, just getting a feeling or a sense of it. what it would be like or how it happened or whatever. But as far as the teachings themselves that were, what I find is just when I think I have understood something or realized something or maybe get a little bit of pride about it, or I mean, I wake up the next day and, just something, the ground just comes out underneath my feet, and not necessarily a big way, sometimes a very small way. So, I mean, I think that's one of the really precious learnings from Dakini's Whisper for me, is that I'm always a beginner, always, always a beginner.
Including teacher. As I said, it's go deeper and deeper and the dimension bottomless until we really come to the final stage of awakening. This kind of teaching is quite new, or what do you think about this kind of journey analogy? And also my chit chat book, chit chat book, also structured that way. So if you need some kind of reading material, that might be a bit useful. And of course, there are so many materials on this kind of genre. So Dakini's way is this way, experiential. And also individual. Once we kind of get the solid understanding, basic understanding of structure, then at individual, you go home, and if you like, you can put more information or meet and read the different books and so forth. You can do that. Yeah, I think this kind of teaching may not be so attractive nowadays.
Yes. Well, I want to say that I felt very moved throughout the whole process. And I also felt it was so wonderful to have the path mapped out, you know, areas that weren't really familiar. I was drawn to inquire more. But most of all, I was touched that I could be on a path like this.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. That's how I started. Oh my gosh, there's a path I can tread. There's already previous master tread, and then came to the this whatever the goal. Wow, amazing! It's so inspiring. It's being very inspiring for me, you know. And also plus another way to classify the path, so-called 5 paths, step by step. But that have been inspiration for me. Of course, again, this is not linear. We come back again and again. We go more excavation kind of thing, go deeper and deeper. So that's really enrich our practice and the life both together. As you know, that's no difference. Also, the same journey. So just 1 minute, think, soak in. Whatever today we tread briefly. How does that feel like? Inspired? Little more faith in the capacity in you, same human body, human mind we have, exactly same as those previous masters who invested, who walked, who tread this same journey and come out like a shining star to benefit all beings. Now it's our turn, no? They're human incarnations are gone, but their teaching left and passed on to us without any distortion. Pure lineage, pure teachings coming from snow melted river, mountain. So see if we can inspire ourselves or aspire to put this teaching into practice and come to realize, integrate, become one with, so that we become a benevolent ambassador in the world of suffering. Thank you, everybody. I myself quite moved by your presence.